Hello, this is Samantha Denefe with Your ID and Arkansas Catholic, and I'm here today to talk to you about a very scary word. Since it's October and Halloween's coming up, I wanted to talk about evangelization. Yes, the E word. It's very scary to us Catholics. Evangelical, evangelism, evangelization, we tend to go, ooh, we don't do that. Now, why is that word scary? I think it's a lot of like the connotations that we have with it growing up and around. Often when we think of that word, we're thinking of someone standing on the street corner yelling, "You're going to hell, repent!" Or we're thinking of someone knocking on our door and be like, "Have you heard about Jesus?" and asking us very uncomfortable questions. And so as Catholics, we tend to shy away from that word. But let's break down that word. Let's reclaim it. It's a very beautiful word. The root there, evangel, means good news. And ization is the process of. So evangelization is just the process of spreading the good news, which is good, right? We want to do that. So as Catholics, it's important to know who Jesus is, know his story, and be able to share that with other people. That's evangelization. But now in our day and age and in our culture, the best way to share the good news is to share your personal good news, which means you have to know what Jesus Christ has done for you. And there's lots of different things he could do for you. Maybe you've always been Catholic and you've gone to church your whole life, and your good news is that when you go to Mass on Sunday, it gives you peace that carries you throughout the whole week. And you get that intimate connection with Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. And that's your good news. Maybe it's something a little bit more radical, like you were addicted to something, and when you finally gave it over to God, he broke that addiction. He broke those chains for you. That's your good news. And so it's important for us to share that. In fact, last month I talked about knowing your personal story, your witness, and that's how the good news spreads today for the most part. Now continuing talking about evangelization, I'm not asking you to now take that megaphone and go on the street corner and scream your story out to everybody. Evangelization, for the most part, the most effective evangelization takes place in trusted relationships. So with friends and coworkers and family, when you can talk about how God is changing your life, how he's affecting your life. So some small examples on how to evangelize. Let's say today at lunch, you're talking to your coworkers and you're talking about, what are you going to do this weekend? And one of your buddies says, hey, let's golf on Sunday. Now you have a couple of options here. You can say, oh yeah, sure, I can golf at like noon. And then you can, go golfing. Or you can say something like, well, I've got Mass at 10:30, but I can meet you on the course at noon. Does that sound good? Now, you haven't shoved Catholicism in his face. You haven't shoved Jesus down his throat. But what you've just done is opened up a conversation with him. So, maybe he says nothing. He's like, okay, perfect. Maybe he says, oh my gosh, I'm Catholic too, but it's been a long time since I've been to Mass. And you can invite him to go to Mass with you. You get 5 extra bonus holy points for taking someone to Mass with you. Awesome. So those little things are what's so important. Now, the final thing I want to say about evangelization is sometimes we like to say, yes, Sam, I agree with you. You keep doing what you're doing. You're a director of evangelization. You do that. We have the priests who are evangelizing, nuns, church staff. You guys evangelize. I'm just a lay person. I don't know enough. But church doctrine says otherwise. There's actually Pope Paul VI wrote a beautiful document called Evangelii Nudiani, and he says in it, we wish to confirm once more that the task of evangelization, it constitutes all people to the essential mission of the church. Evangelizing is in fact the grace and vocation proper to the church, her deepest identity. She exists in order to evangelize. We exist in order to evangelize. Now, it's important to think about this in who is the church? Where is the church? Yes, the church is in Rome. Yes, the church is the building that you go to on Sunday, but the church is also in your heart. If those buildings were destroyed, we would still have the church. You are the church, which means that we should be able to take this quote and put your name in it. So let's say Mary. I want to confirm once more that the task of evangelization constitutes all people, and it's the essential mission of Mary. Evangelizing is in fact the grace and vocation proper to Mary. It's Mary's deepest identity, which is beautiful. Your deepest identity is God calling you to share his love with other people in your life, with your family, with your friends, and with your coworkers. Have a blessed day. This was Samantha Denefe with Your ID and Arkansas Catholic.